my name's Miranda, and over the weekend I attended Boston Comic Con and I had so much fun. So I wanted to share all my adventures for future me so I can look back and remember how much fun I had. First of all, shout out to my dad for taking me and being willing to put up with my screaming, fainting, and occasional anxiety attacks over meeting such awesome people. And this was actually my second year going to Boston Comic Con, so I felt a lot more prepared, I guess. I don't know, it can be very overwhelming when you first go all the crowds and everything, so I felt more like I knew what I was doing this time. So right away when we got in, we knew we were going to try and get some autographs. Two people that I wanted to meet were Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin and Killer Frost on The Flash, and Elizabeth Hendricks, who plays Gemma Simmons on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So Danielle unfortunately was not there when we went, but Gemma was. Gemma, I kept calling her Gemma, but like her name is Elizabeth, and Jenna Coleman was also there, so it would get very confusing because I was like, I want to meet Gemma, and people would be like, Jenna's not here right now, and I was like, no, she's right there, I can see her. So we went and saw Elizabeth, we waited in line, and one really cool thing about her was that she was actually donating her proceeds from like autographs and money to a charity that she had. I think it's called Smile Training or something like that. I don't know, I'll leave a link to it in the description box, but I just thought it was really cool that she was kind of taking this moment to promote a charity and kind of raise money for something other than herself, which is what the other people do. So I was waiting to get in line to meet Elizabeth, and I finally got to go up to her. I had a comic book that I wanted to get signed by her. It was actually Miss Marvel Volume 3 because there's a whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing in here with Gemma that they throw in. So I had her sign it, and she was like, oh, this is so cool, what comic book is this? And I said, it's Miss Marvel. She's like, oh, I love Miss Marvel. And I was like, oh yeah, and it has Simmons in it, so I mean, that makes it even better. And she was like, oh, Miranda, you know, with her little accent. I was talking to her, and it was funny because she was laughing, and she's like, I can hear the accent when you guys say Boston. And like, to me, I don't really think of myself as having a Boston accent. Like, I don't do the park the car or anything like that, but when she was like, I can hear it when you say Boston, and then I started thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, you kind of can hear it when I say Boston. It's really hot in there, so we were kind of talking, and she was like, oh yeah, I have this big old fan blowing on me, so it's really helping right now. And I was like, oh, you should put your hair down, you know, and just like let it flow like Beyonce. And she's like, no, because then it would push it forward. She's like kind of a reverse Beyonce, and we bonded over Beyonce again because she's like, I feel like you can't try and be Beyonce because that makes it less cool. And I was like, yeah, it kind of is embarrassing for Beyonce if we just all try and like emulate her. So it was just really cool. She was really sweet. I was super impressed because like I knew she was going to be nice, but like I didn't realize she was going to be that nice. She really made a point to try and connect with you and have a conversation and not just like hi and bye. And her autographs are really cool because I mean, I'm sure they're like generic, you know, like she writes on everyone, but based on the autographs I've been seeing by her, she tries to write something like a little different for every person and a little special. So like mine was like, Miranda, great to meet you, and then she drew like a little arrow to the picture of Simmons, and then she asked me, she's like, do you want me to sign the front too? And I was like, yeah, please do. So she signed the front, Miranda, you're awesome, love, Elizabeth, aka Simmons. So it was just really cool. I really enjoyed it, and she was super sweet. I was super impressed with her. Like, she was just such a pleasantly nice person, and like I knew she was gonna be nice, but just she went above and beyond with her niceness, and I was just like, you are such an awesome person. A little while later, we got in line for Danielle. She wasn't there because she was at a panel, but I assumed she was coming back soon because there was a line kind of going up. So I managed to wait in line, and then I got there, and it was really hard picking a picture that I wanted her to sign because I didn't really like any of them. So I went up to her. She was nice. She wasn't as open as Elizabeth. I would say Elizabeth was like the golden standard for what you would want people to do. She was nice, but you could tell she just kind of wanted to like, you know, move on and stuff like that. So I got her to sign this one. I congratulated her on her engagement. She said her fiance was there, but he was taking care of the dog right now. Then I got a selfie with her as well, and my dad made sure we got like 4 because like there was a lady in the background. He was like, oh, can you guys move? I don't want that lady in the background. So he was like ordering Danielle Panabaker around, and I was like, this is amazing. So then we had a little time to kill before my photo ops with Elizabeth and Danielle. So we were walking around, and I was walking down an aisle with my dad, and all of a sudden like someone like grabs my shoulder and like kind of like nudges me out of the way and is like, oh, excuse me, can you move? And I was like, who? Excuse me? Because like everyone is super nice at Comic-Con. Like, it's super crowded, but like everyone knows that it's super crowded, so no one's really trying to like move around each other. So the fact that someone was like, can you move please? I was like, who is this? And then of course it's John Barrowman from Arrow and his like handlers, and I was just like, what? I was just pushed out of the way by John Barrowman. Like, it wasn't mean or anything. Like, he obviously just needed to get to where he was, but I was still like, how does this even happen? So then we were waiting in line for Elizabeth, and I was just like looking around kind of, and Robbie Amell and his fiance wife Italia Ricci or whatever from Supergirl, they walk right by me and down the escalator, and some guy behind me is like, Robbie, and he like does like one of those like cool bro things, like, hey, I see you. And we got in line for the Danielle Panabaker photo shoot, and that didn't have too many people, and the creepy thing was it was like a family, me, and then like 7 middle-aged men by themselves, and I was like, okay. So Danielle again was just like super like sweet, but you could tell like she was just like, let's do this. So she would like grab your shoulder, get on with the picture. I was like, no, I want a special picture. So I went up and I was like, can we do a Killer Frost pose? And she was like, oh yeah, sure, you mean like just that? And I was like, exactly like that. So we ended up taking a picture. They had it really well set up, I felt like, with the photo ops, because then we went back and got in line for Elizabeth, and Elizabeth was super sweet. Normally, and it makes sense because you have so many people that are just coming in and out, they're just kind of like, hi, how are you? Hug, and then leave. Elizabeth was literally like, hi, how's your day going? She was like talking to you, and then I was like, oh, can I get a hug for my pose? And she was like, yeah, of course. And then we did the picture, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming, have a great day. And I was like, thank you, have a good day. Like, she was just so, she was above and beyond sweet. I can't stop raving about Elizabeth Hendricks. This is what our picture came out of, and as you can see, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. She was so sweet. Like, I can't believe it. So then, I am not a Doctor Who fan, but my dad is, and I was like, you've been so nice, like, we should get a Jenna Coleman photo op, like, let's do it, because she wasn't doing selfies with her autograph, she was just doing photo ops. So I was like, let's do it. The photo op started, it was super hot, so he went to go get water, I went to go to the bathroom, and as I'm going down the escalator, who comes up but Jenna Coleman? And I was like, why are all these people just like in my personal space? Like, I'm not emotionally prepared for this. So I was like, hi, Jenna, and she just kind of looked at me and was like, I think she was like super tired, but she was just like, don't acknowledge, I don't want people flooding me right now. And I was just like, okay, like, I don't watch the show, so I wasn't like offended that she didn't say hi or anything. So then we got in our photo op for Jenna, and this is how it came out. I should have asked my dad if he wanted to be in this video before I showed the picture, but oh well. She had this pose she did all the time. I mean, I like that she did a pose other than like the little, you know, thing that everyone does, but like that was weird, and I didn't know what to do with my hands, so I did that creepy like Phil Lester like thing that it was just regrets all over the place. And then also for stuff, I didn't get too much stuff this time. I wanted just to spend my money more on the photo ops and the autographs and stuff like that. But of course I did get some Legos, so I got this nice Harley Quinn one based on her Suicide Squad one. Come on, focus, camera. And then I also got this Wonder Woman one from the movie. I liked it because like it reminds me of what she's gonna look like in the Wonder Woman movie, even though I haven't seen Batman v Superman. So it's pretty cool. And I also, random fact, I saw someone like vlogging at Comic-Con and they had the same camera I had, and I was like, whoa. Like, we bonded for a second, even though she didn't see me at all. Then, lastly, a really fun surprise, because I didn't even know she was gonna go there. Sarah Anderson, who writes the book Adulthood is a Myth, and she also does Sarah Scribbles as her online comic, she was there! And I was like, because I was unfortunately supposed to go to a book signing of hers on Friday, but I had something that came up and I couldn't go, so then when I saw her, I was like, I freaked out for a second. She didn't have any merchandise, but we could get portraits of ourselves that she would draw. And look at my little drawing. Oh, it's so cute. She was awesome. She was super nice. I got a picture with her too, and I was like, I love your book, and she was like, oh, thank you so much. And it was just a great time. Everyone there was super nice. Elizabeth Hendricks is like my personal fave now because of how adorably sweet she was. Like I said, no one else was really mean aside from like Jenna, and she wasn't mean, she just seemed super tired. But Elizabeth just like, she made it fun. She made it nice. She made it seem like I wasn't like inconveniencing her, and like, yes, I paid to meet her, but like it was worth it, and she made the time to talk to me and have an actual conversation, and we were asking her about her charity and stuff, and she really seemed into talking about that. So it was just a really awesome experience. I really enjoyed it, and we will see what next year holds for us if they have anyone cool coming, because I mean, it's always so fun. Everyone there is so nice. It's could be a little better organized. This year it was a tad better. It was extremely hot. That was the only thing that I was like fading towards the end, but I had a really good time, and I mean, I think you can see on my face like how much I enjoyed my day, because it was just so much fun. I think that's about going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel down below so we can when I make all sorts of new videos. And also make sure to check out the Smile Training, the charity that Elizabeth was promoting, down in the description box. I'll leave a link to that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!